Sniper here at the Toronto International UAV Show. We're going to check out some drone races.
I'm going to go as fast as I can.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Drone racing, or FPV racing as we call it, FPV for first-person view, has gained a lot of traction because of FPV itself. Not as much the drones, where the pilot puts on a set of goggles and flies from the view of the camera itself. So when these pilots are racing, they are looking out of the front of the drone, much the same as a pilot in an F-18 would be sitting in the pilot seat looking out. And when your brain actually accepts the fact that you are flying this machine, it's an adrenaline rush and an addiction that is uncomparable.
My name is Jeff Comer. I fly with Detroit Multirotor Company out of Detroit, Michigan. Racing this lovely course here. For the winners, getting about $1,500. Runners up are getting a little bit less, but money to be had and some pretty stiff competition out here.
The drone industry has really picked up a lot of steam in the last couple of years. One of the organizations in the United States, Drone Racing League, has been picked up by ESPN and now on TSN here in Canada, which has given the whole industry a real push. There's a hope from internally that the racing industry will become a sport, and we're hoping that DRL, Drone Racing League out of the US, will really help to get that there.
I think our sector, the racing, is kind of its own animal now, and I think that's going to continue to grow with different leagues kind of popping up. You've got MultiGP, it's kind of our big grassroots, and you have the ESPN as DRL now, and that's gaining popularity. It's awesome to be able to see our sport on television. Mostly younger people, I'd say 18 to 35 is our core group. Ex-gamers, you know, people who are tech savvy and want to learn how to build things. I think that's how it starts for a lot of people, is just, hey, I know I can build this thing, I got the skill to do that, and that's a whole lot of fun to fly too, so that's kind of bonus. If there's no race in Detroit, we come up to Toronto or wherever we can get our hands on a race. We have a good little local scene. I throw races down there with my friend Harry Arnold, Detroit Drone Racing and MultiGP. So that's the big league in America and other countries. They're the kind of the grassroots racing all the way up to the big championships. Getting women into it. My wife flies around her little tiny whoop, so she's learning, and we're getting more girls in every year. We got a couple that are pretty good.
88% male, 12% female. Statistics that I have on GTA North, one of our FPV groups.
I'm flying a Detroit Multirotor 220. It's kind of a prototype frame that he's working on. It's an X configuration, but with a longer body. It's something he's been working on, trying new frames, new developments to see what works and what doesn't. If it flies good, then we take it into production.
I'm flying an Inductrix and he's flying a 5-inch quad, so he might be a little bit faster, but I can cut corners quicker.
And how fast does this go?
Right now I have it set up more for control and power other than speed. So right now in this setup, probably hit 75 kilometers an hour maybe. 75
kilometers. Pretty substantial weight.
Yeah.
At least in pounds, what's this looking like? Maybe a pound?
Pounds, just over a pound, I'd say.
So just over a pound, traveling at 80?
I mean, in here, it's hard to get up to the top speeds, so I think we're hitting 50, 60 at most down the straight there. 50
or 60, getting this to the noggin? Not cool, man. It's concussion city.
Batteries on a racing quad will last 3 to 5 minutes, much the same as a drag car or any other race car. Only has enough fuel in it to finish the race.
We're generally going to run a 4-cell battery. The speed of these things can be adjusted by the battery. So if I want to go a little bit slower, I can add a 3-cell battery. We got a camera on the front here. Generally, you're going to see it's going to have a little bit of tilt upwards, and that's because we propel ourselves forwards and upwards at the same time. This is just making sure that we're actually looking forward when we're flying. They're really fast, they're very light. One of our fastest pilots in the entire country flies it. He's also here today. We have really good results, and they're tough as nails. I have broken motors and flight controllers and everything, but I have not broken any frame parts. You're not going to beat this with a bigger drone. Not on a course like this. Honestly, this might even be a little oversized. There's guys running 4-inch and 3-inch props that are doing really well right now. So in terms of that, this is probably the happy window between maneuverability and top speed. So as you would go larger, you would get top speed, but you would not have the ability to take the corners that we do. This course is a little more technical than what we're used to. Honestly, usually we have a little bit more room, so the gates are going to be spread out a little farther. With this one, you have milliseconds to seconds in between the gate. We're kind of under space constraints, so it's made for a pretty tight competitive track. Everything is made of aluminum and concrete around here, so we are braking a little more. equipment than the average race, but you know, nothing we're not ready for. We all come with backups and extra parts, and everybody's over there wrenching right now. So
when you're not really used to having a small track like this and you're used to flying outside, you come to a corner and, like you said, milliseconds before the gate, and if you hit, there's no forgiving. Plus the multipathing, you get a lot of signals bouncing off with Wi-Fi, and our machines run off of 5.8 gigs, which is similar to Wi-Fi.
40 channels available to the pilots. They've got a maximum of 15 or 16 people, but realistic, 6 to 8 people at a time is all you're going to be able to put on a single band without one pilot interfering with another.
He isn't going to see anything else. His whole world now is his drone and his flying, and it helps you focus and kind of stay in the moment.
Analog video system, it's very difficult to get a clear video signal.
Think of it like watching a TV screen, only you don't have the option of looking outside the TV screen. So a lot of us find that helps because it immerses you completely. What's the one superpower everybody wants? To learn how to fly, right? And when you do this, it's after about the first 10 seconds, you don't make the distinction anymore. You feel like you're flying. You're having an almost outer body experience. When you crash, you're gonna do one of these and all that kind of thing.
I hit the pole and then the wall and then the ground, and it went splat.
So when these pilots are racing, they are looking out of the front of the drone, much the same as a pilot in an F-18 would be sitting in the pilot seat looking out. And when your brain actually accepts the fact that you are flying this machine, it's an adrenaline rush and an addiction that is uncomparable. Because here's 8 pilots flying around a track with goggles on, and as far as their body knows, they are 8 people racing F-18s around a track, and there is just nothing else out there like it.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe because we got a lot of cool shit to come. So stay tuned.